sponsors.
Are you ready?
A huge thank you to our SRA sponsors and title sponsors for supporting us here at SRA, as well as support from Documise, a modern business solution for product management. Go to documise.com to learn more today. And support from Retro Saga, a North American-based gaming company that provides accessories for your favourite classic systems, including Nintendo, Sega, PlayStation, and much more. Enhance your retro gaming experience today at retrosaga.ca. And a big thank you to our affiliates, Track Racer. Experience redefined gaming with Track Racer's high-quality sim rigs and accessories. Use code SRATE at checkout to support us. Armamentario, a toolbox for ACC that will enhance your chance to win. Enjoy a fully customizable and enhanced HUD to change the way you experience ACC. AT3D Sim Shop. Upgrade your sim racing experience today with premium 3D printed accessories featuring precision crafted magnetic shifters, sleek cable management solutions, versatile stream deck mounts, and immersive dashboard displays. Their innovative designs enhance performance and style, elevate every lap with top-tier quality and craftsmanship at at3d.net. Go Setups, premium esports setups for everybody. Use our affiliate link on our Discord and take your drive to the next level. Castle and Cauldron, a home-based crafting business specialising in handmade Harry Potter, Fantastic Beasts and Fairy World collectibles. Magic wands, potions, mini dioramas, wall decor, costumery, cosplay, and much more. Castle and Cauldron is where crafting meets the magical. Visit facebook.com/Castle Cauldron. And from KP Concepts, your source for custom automotive renderings, graphic design, and printing. We spend countless hours making you look all good for the spectacle. Check out kpconcepts.com for more.
Good evening, SRA Nation, and welcome to Season 12.
Today is going to be a new challenge, aside from being Sanford. We're racing on the surface of the sun, apparently.
Heading down towards the main start line.
Maximizing that track just behind. That's exactly what we were talking about. That one corner. So critical to your lap time. You have to send it. This is the apex curving there by a little bit.
Everybody's now bunched up, and you do not want that.
Rewind now at the end of Sector 1 in the spot you really don't want to, but the fight's not over.
Still there on the inside, and the McLaren's still not going to give the place up.
And we're off and away for SRA.
Good evening, good morning, or good afternoon, SRA Nation, wherever you may be watching, and welcome to Season 13. It's round number 5 for Division number 1. I'm Alexa Marshall, joined by Stephanie Fisher, and tonight we go to the Belgium countryside. It's a fan favourite, it's one of my favourites, it's one of Stephanie's favourites. It is Zolder, surrounded by greenery and chicanes all over the place. It's one track which can cause major upsets, but also some mega stories in your driving styles. What can we expect tonight, Stephanie?
Well, like a lot of people have been saying leading up to this, these chicanes can be spicy or they can be nice. It's kind of a, I don't know, it's a throw up. It's a, what's it called? It's a toss up. That's the word I'm looking for. You know, if they're behaving through those chicanes and they do it nice, it'll be clean. If they try to get a little bit greedy, well, it'll at least be something to watch.
Yeah, most definitely. And qualifying is where you may get greedy or maybe even in the race. But of course, it's Zolder. It's the track. Let's go through it real quick for the viewers at home, shall we? as of
Sure
course
thing.
it's Zolder, it's tricky, and it is thin. Located in Zolder, Belgium, it is 4.01 kilometers. That converts to 2.492 miles. On here it says it's got 11 turns, but on others it says it's got 10. It is, like I said, the normal length and lots of different corners, but the main 7 being Öster. I am so sorry about these pronunciations. I am trying to do them correctly. It's a medium speed first corner that sets the lap and can easily gain momentum on the exit for number 2 of Ster and that Bocht. And then turn number 3, of course, being a sweeping right corner leading into the first chicane. That's going to be one of your main overtaking opportunities here this evening, showing us turn number 5 on the track map. Braking, easy to lose it, and personally I've seen many incidents happening through there. Then very quickly down into the left-hander of turn number 6 on your screen, then into the chicane of turn number 7. You throw it right, you throw it left. It's very tight, it's practically 90 degrees, although you can get it a little bit awkward going through the cuts. And then right on the exit of it, you've also got that very tight right-hander, which if you go a little bit too fast, you can run wide onto the gravel, and you've got a wall which you've got to try to avoid, but you've also got to be careful when you come to rejoin due to any traffic. You accelerate through turn number 8 on the screen, and then down towards turn number 9. Heavy braking, your second major overtaking opportunity here this evening, and it is just over 180 degrees, nearly 360. It's a nice little hairpin, but then down towards turn number 10, a little kink left and right, then down into the final chicane. That's your third and final major overtaking opportunity, and then that brings you back down onto the main straight. The left-hander at turn number 1, also going to be very tricky on lap number 1 with lots of cars ploughing down into it. I'm going to let Stephanie go through the driver standings for you, because we've got an interesting fight going on in both gold and silver, and I'm going to let my brain process.
All right, well, while your brain processes, we'll run over this quick. Travis Nordstrom currently is leading the gold division with 312 points. Jeff Spangler is following him with 281 points, 30 points behind. But we still have several more races to go. He is very closely followed by Andrew Rados. So who can make the gold division is still a bit of a toss-up, depending on how this all plays out. Omar Escorcia is also at 250 points. So, you know, if he has a really good race the next couple of races, who knows what can happen there. Dan Cran follows with 236. Estefano Barrera with 228. Ilpo Rutsalainen is at 187 points with the silver division. He is followed by Brandon Chan with 157 points. It's a 30-point difference there, similar to the gold. So still room for Brandon to catch up and take over. Brandon is followed by Kelvin Lau with 150 points, so only 7 points off of Brandon. He is then followed by Michael Louis. So yes, gold, silver, both a little bit close, a little bit tight, and still room for those championships to change hands. Somebody else taking over with that. In their team standings, it's even closer. And P1 right now is Visceral by FRT Nova RS with Estefano Barrera and Omar Escorcia. Both very consistent, doing really well, placing pretty good in their races. Neither one of them has a win, and you don't need a win in order to win the team series. So they have 478 points. They are ahead of Pillars Horse Racing with Koa Droma and Travis Nordstrom with 474 points. Only a 4-point difference. So Visceral has got, they'll be looking out for the Pillars Horse Racing team behind them, because it's not a big spread and it won't take much for them to overcome that if they want to. Madhouse Racing and the McCarrans, Jeff Spangler and Kelvin Lau, they're at 431 points. Only 47 points off. So again, maybe they'll catch up in the next few races, and they could possibly, maybe, have a crack at that. They're followed by Red Eye Racing, Abominable Apex with Dan Cran and Comer Wilson, followed by Godzilla with Jacob Palmieri and Jared Troxler with 344 points. You can see the rest from up on the board, but I am going to work on getting us back out on track to see these guys. The silvers have just gone out for qualifying. Then we will find an actual moving car to look at instead of Bailey's lovely pink BMW. There we go.
Yeah, indeed. And whilst Stephanie does things for me, we are going to go through this real quickly, and we're going to make it very clear. Issued after round number 4 at the Nürburgring GP, it is Victor Diaz who has received a qualifying ban, meaning they will be starting from either the back or the pit lane. It really depends. And of course, if you're new here, we'll go through this real quick for you. 20-minute qualifying, first 10 minutes for the silver drivers, and final 10 minutes for the gold. It is going to be in the 30-degree range for the track, so it means it is hot, 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 and that's going to lead to a major opportunity for tyre management. Of course, one mandatory pit stop in the race for a tyre change. So it's what really counts. But here at Zolder, it's tight, it's tricky. The chicanes can make or break a lap, as good old Danny Durant is going to go down into turn number 1. You can see the darker patch of the racing circuit. That is where the ideal line is. You want to try and keep it on there if you want to follow the racing line, but it may come down to it. It's optimum track. It is a optimum track surface with 0 wind. It is 26 degrees ambient and 35 degrees track temperature. No rain on the forecast, but it's going to be tricky nonetheless. Currently going to go down into the first chicane of 3 here at Zolder, and is going to be all over the place. You go through left, you go through right. Very easy to end up having your car go airborne, unluckily, and can lose major time when it comes down to it. Downhill you go through the left-hander into the braking zone for the second chicane. You throw it right, you throw it left, and you throw it right again. As said during the track guide, if you go wide through this right-hander, you can go into the gravel, as you can see there, on your left-hand side. As going down through to technically turn number 8 into turn number 9, then onto the throttle one more time through the quick left sweep, and then down towards the final chicane. It's actually a pretty fast lap here at Zolder for the nature of the circuit. Honestly, just imagine what it would be like without the chicanes. Then into the final few corners, then onto the main straight you go. Pedal to the metal, foot to the floor. Danny Durant will come across the line right now, and he will go P number 4, 0.678 behind, but it is going to be Rushovic who is going to be at top right now. 1 minute 27.927.
And let's see. Take a look at who else is out here right now and where they might be following. Rushovic is staying pretty steady. There's not a lot of big deltas. We'll look at Mikhail Charles here, who's got... He's up 0.3 on his, which won't be quite enough to bring him up to P1, but it would give him... Well, I just ruined it for him. He's no longer up on anything, made a little wiggle, so let's see what else we can find. Guy Manperson following Rushovic very closely is 0.2 up on his lap. We'll see if he can hold that and keep it up. Rushovic is... you know, coming up a little bit here and there, but not being able to hold any improvements for very long. Whereas Guy Manperson right now is 0.4 up on his time. That will definitely give him the P1 spot with a little bit of cushion. Brandon Chan just took P2 from Guy.
Well, it really depends, because, like you just said, Chan up into P number 2, goes into the pit lane, yellow flags do, flat out beef, people resetting, into the left, into the right, onto the main straight one more time, going to go down towards the timing line, one more shot here at Zolder, goes across, and he will go to the top, 1 minute 27.487, and it's nice and tidy there for the BMW, which
Beautiful lap.
is the key thing. That was a beautiful lap, and key thing to point out here, how are the cars going to react, because each car has different characteristics. And speaking of cars, the McLaren is actually pretty infamous around here. It is good on both straights, but it could also tank the chicanes when it comes down to it. So how are those going to play a key factor here in qualifying, but most especially the race? Guy Manperson currently sits up top. Anton, though, going to be in P2 for the time being. Comes out the final corner and will go onto the throttle one more time. Goes to the line. Where will they go? Will they reclaim? They will not. They will stay P2 for this time being. Top 5, all different car categories. BMW P1, McLaren P2. Just as I say that, McLaren goes P3, Honda 4 and 5. The Audi and Porsche, which I was going to talk about, are now down in P6 and number 7 for Archley and Drebes, as right now Robinson sits P8 with Louis P9 and Dunham P10. Right now it is going to be Travis Robinson, though, as you can see the rear end of that car bouncing all over the place, over the crest and down the hill you go. It can be tricky when you pick up that little bit extra speed. You may take a bit way too much into the chicane, and then that can send you off into the gravel trap. Good to see that the festive livery is still being used by Travis Robinson here at Zolder, so keeping up the festivities even though we are approaching at the end of January. Brandon Chan is going to be heading through P4 right now in his trusty Honda, and the Honda actually seeming to be a bit of an underdog this season, Stephanie.
Yeah, well, actually, I wanted to go back to you mentioned the festive livery. I had to take a look at Brandon's livery. He brought out his Chinese New Year livery. I know a lot of people picked Christmas, but there are other holidays out here. This is Brandon's pulled this out for the whole Chinese New Year coming up for him. So we have this one, and he did a opposite one for Fosley, and I just really like he did these last year, and I love these liveries, so had to put a little plug in for them. But we'll go back to Brendan, and you asked me a question about it, and I'm sorry, I forgot what the actual question was.
Well, it wasn't really a question, it was more of like a statement of the Honda being a bit of an underdog this season, and your thoughts on it.
Oh, yeah, it is a bit of an underdog. It's a kind of car, I get the impression people either love or hate. I hate it, but other people love it. And it's, I think in the right hands, it can be pretty quick, but she's also very temperamental. I guess is the word I'm really looking for with this one. And my understanding is it needs to be driven a little differently than other cars. I updated the liveries at 8:30 p.m. Brandon and Fosley's livery is a new update from Awesome Sim Racing, so I need to get with Barrera and figure out why his livery is not updating. So I can't individually find something that's not in Awesome Sim Racing. So,
yeah,
back to you.
and whilst we've been talking about this, actually, Rushevich has gone back to the top, and Guy Manperson now sits P2, 0.30 behind. Then Kelvin Lau actually currently sat P3, 0.080 behind. So less than a tenth currently separated the top 3. So one little improvement could make or break here. Of course, we've still got the gold drivers to come out, who will be coming out onto the circuit in 30 seconds. So these will be the final runs for the silver drivers this night in qualifying. The Lamborghini right there, as we go over Guy Manperson, he will not get improvement in, but he does. But he is now allowed to go for another lap. Can he improve? Can he get that silver pole? That is the question. Also, Lad actually. And P4 0.125 behind, so through a chicane you can definitely make that time up. So don't really count out lads either, as Kelvin Lau will come into the pit lane. They will stay P3 in silver qualifying, and they will not get an improvement in, as Robinson also into the pit lane. As over the chicane you can see the undulation, you can see how much it affects it by just how bouncy the beamer was. As you head over the crest and down the hill into the second chicane here at Zolder. And fun fact, these chicanes were actually put in for safety reasons, as it was believed that cars were going too fast around this circuit, meaning that it was causing too many incidents, and that is why the chicanes were put in. Going to go down into the braking zone of the hairpin, and then into the right-hander, into the little left-right sweep, and then which brings you down into the final chicane. It's actually quite tricky, that left-right sweep sometimes, as Guy Manpurse will come into the pits. Rushovic will come into the pit lane as well. So the top 5 all into the pit lane for silver qualifying. It looks like we've got our silver qualifying order. However, the gold drivers are out on track.
They are out. I thought it was actually kind of nice that Guy decided to go into the pit for us. You can really see how that pit lane is, and sometimes it can cause a little bit of trouble with the cars not pitting when one goes in. You brake a little bit too much, or they're not expecting it. And it can get a little dicey at that pit exit if we're not careful. But yep, here are the gold drivers. Sorry.
Pit exit, there it is. Speaking of pit exit, there it is on your left-hand side. You got to stay in that white line, and like you were saying, that makes it tricky because it comes out straight onto the apex of turn number 2. So if somebody's coming out the pit lane and you're going round, you've got to be careful because they could be coming out right onto your racing line, and there's nothing much they can really do about it, which can be a little bit unfortunate. But Bailey Kish for the number 14, currently sat P number 19 in the gold division, and overall as well, going to be going down into the second chicane right now. As I believe that was a Ford Mustang just in front of it in that red and white livery. Leobear touched the grass right there. That's going to lose him quite a few temps up through the right hander. Luckily enough, nobody's seeming to go off into that gravel so far, at least if not on purpose, to reset to the pit lane, heading down into the braking zone, then onto the throttle one more time. That's going to be interesting, that corner during the race, especially if you're side by side, because how quickly are they going to turn in? How quickly are you going to turn in? So that's what's going to make it interesting, through the left and through the right. Another thing with these chicanes as well is the fact that it's going to make it so it's bunched up practically the entire race. But Bailey Kish going to go to the line, P15 overall, and that is going to be quite a decent lap time of a 1 minute 28.230. So not too bad so far, as Jeff Spangler goes P number 15 overall. Omar Escorcia got to be starting a lap now around this circuit. What can we expect from this man, Stephanie, from what we've seen so far this season, as Travis Nordstrom goes to the top overall and top of gold pole?
Yeah, so you were asking me about Omar Escorcia, I think, when we were on him, and I saw Travis was taking the pole position already. People are just putting in their banker lap, but go back and see Omar. Omar's car. He's been doing, I think Omar's been showing us a pretty decent showing so far this season. Not a driver I'm terribly familiar with from the team series in general, but I believe that over the last several weeks he's been doing pretty decent in most of the races. And hop up to Travis, he took our P1 position at a 127.440. So let's see if anybody can beat him. Now he is the current gold leader. Oh, Estefano Barrera takes it with a 127.312.
Yeah, last season's champion as well, as shown by that number 1 on the number plate of that car. The number 1 to P number 1, and the reigning champion looking to defend the crown. Hasn't really had the best start to the season, but the second half can always throw up a few curveballs, especially with the circuits coming up. You've got Zolder here tonight, which is tight and tricky. You've got Bathurst after the 2-week break, and then you've got Alton Park and Valencia. So we've gone from fast and sweeping to a very technical round 5, 6, and 7. So realistically, the drivers have been thrown a major curveball going into the second half of this season.
And yes, we're being pointed out that look at this beautiful livery. Took half the season to get it on stream, and here it is finally. As again, but I was actually amazed watching him throw that car through those chicanes as you were talking about that. He's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I mean, it's no surprise. It is Estefano Barrera, and he will come to the line. Can he gain improvement here? And he will not. It will stay at a pole lap time of 1 minute 27.312 as 4 minutes remain on the clock here in qualifying. Of course, silver drivers are completed. Now it's down to the gold as we go to Andrew Rados, who's down into P number 8 now in that trusty lemon car. Winning last time out in the at the Nürburgring. And we've gone from Germany to Belgium. We're still in Europe, so it's quite an interesting one. Realistically, when it comes down to it, hopping not that far over the land and then down into the final chicane. You throw it left, you throw it right, then you get back onto that throttle as quickly as possible. The 120, the trusty Honda. Andrew Rados goes to the line and he will go P number 2 to put it on the front row. Less than a tenth separating him and Estefano Barrera, but Travis Nordstrom, who was P number 2, he was pole, he was P number 2, now he's P number 3. He's going to look to improve, he's going to look to bite back, he's going to look to regain that top time into the second chicane. Nice and flat realistically compared to the other two, but the final chicane you kind of just plant it in the middle. The first chicane is where you see most of your issues. This right-hander as well can cause many issues for many drivers. This circuit very good when you get a groove going, but that right-hander after the second chicane can majorly throw off the rhythm. Out of the turn and into the left-right sweep on into the throttle one more time. 2:37 on the clock. Heading down under the sponsor signs and into the final chicane. I like to talk about before. Nice and flat. Use it as much as possible. Take it right to the limit as Travis Nordstrom will do for Pillars Horse Racing. The number 20 around the final corner goes to the top. 127.055. Talk about a bite back. He's back on top.
Yeah, I mean, I have the privilege of being able to see the deltas, and at one point he had a sub 27 up there for a good portion of that run, so he actually has a little bit more time, so he's gonna, looks like he and Estefano are gonna be really battling it out on this one. Yeah, the top, what, 10 or, well, we're gonna put Travis Nordstrom aside. He's 3/10 ahead of P2, but between P2 and P7's 2/10 difference, so really tight field. And yeah, Rados is doing an excellent job here.
Yeah, I mean, that's Zolder for you. Like, it's one of these circuits where if you could get your lap time in and it's absolutely perfect, it's almost impossible to beat, as the right-hand side of that Honda will get thrown up into the air, touching to the sky a little bit momentarily, down the hill and into the final chicane, not final, into the second chicane, my apologies chat, then into the right-hander and going to be going up the hill, over the crest one more time. Pretty flat circuit when it comes down to it, apart from that second sector. Sector 3 and Sector 1 seems to be a bit more flat, but Sector 2 with that cresting down the hill, it really throws it up a few times, especially with that right hand after the second chicane. Down into the final corner though for the lemon car of Andrew Rados, the 120, currently sat P number 4, was P2 earlier on, goes around the final corner. Jeff Spangler now P number 2, less than a tenth from pole, goes to the line. Andrew Rados will stay P number 4 for the time being. Spangler in the pit lane, Barrera in the pit lane, Rusevich in the pit lane, Guy Manperson in the pit lane, Kelvin Lau in the pit lane, Laz in the pit lane, Dunham in the pit lane, Sir Robinson in the pit lane. So realistically, half of the gold drivers in the pit lane, and I did mention a few silver in there, but of course it is going to be Diego, who for Pillars Racing, as the checkered flag will now fall here in qualifying. It's 35-degree track temperature. The tyres are going to be screaming here tonight. And another thing to point out, it's Zolder, it's tricky. How are the teams going to fare tonight, and how will they time their team strategies? Omar S. Garcia will go to the line. He will stay P number 7. No improvement from him. The Ford Mustang of Travis Nordstrom will stay on top for the time being. Jeff Spangler will not set another lap time. It's down to Diego. It's down to Rados. What can they do here this evening? No win, so it's going to be hard for the brakes to curl, but he will get it done and he will keep it tidy into the final chicane. Eric Marecki also coming down into that final chicane in that very icy but also camo-esque livery. As here we go, Eric Marecki round the final corner, going to go to the line to here at the end of qualifying. What can he do this evening? He only goes P number 14 overall. Plenty of silver drivers up ahead. Andrew Rados goes to the line, only P number 3. So unless somebody can get an absolute stonker in, which will be Omar Escorcia, it will be Nordstrom, and it will be Spangler on the front row. One thing we've become very accustomed to over this season. Down into the final chicane though, but that is going to be it. No improvement will be on there. It's Nordstrom on pole, Spangler P2, Rados P number 3.
As a lot of people in the comments have noticed, it is close. These times are, their qualifying times are really close. So this will be looking to be a very interesting, fun, exciting race for us this evening. I'm looking forward to it. What are your thoughts?
Well, to be honest, I drive Zolder quite a lot. It's a good track to practice on. And when it comes down to it, you've only got a few overtaking opportunities. You got your first chicane, you got turn number 1 if you can dive it down the inside, possibly around the outside at turn number 3 and turn number 2 as well. That first chicane, heavy braking on the inside, that's going to be a good overtaking opportunity, as well as the braking zone just before that left-right sweep. The second chicane, you do not want to go side by side through. Turn number 9 and turn number 10, probably your best and safest shot to overtake here this evening. Maybe a dive down the inside for turn number 11. But of course, these chicanes also make it so the field stays very bunched up, and it is for safety as well, as we will mention it, as I am going to get it up in my notes. However, it is common knowledge for most people. It is unfortunately, unfortunately it has the words. My brain is not processing apparently. I apologize, chat. But I want to get this correct, hence why I am checking my notes. But it is, I had it in my notes before. This is what happens, chat. We're trying to keep this professional, so hence why I'm keeping my tone like this. I cannot find it. Why can I not find it? That's what it was. Of course, it did host F1 for quite a while, but it also hosts GT. But of course, it is unfortunately the death place of Jules Villeneuve in 1982 during qualifying for the Belgian Grand Prix, and that is another reason why we do have the chicanes here, because to bring the speed down, to keep it safe. And as we do go to the formation lap, I will allow Stephanie to take us through the grid order.
We've got Travis Nordstrom in P1, Jeff Spangler P2, 3 Rados, 4 Estefano Barrera, 5 is Anton Rushevic, 6 is Guy Manperson. P7 we have back here Omar Escorcia and Golmar Wilson. Calvin Lau in P9, John Laz in P10, P11 Diego, P12 is Dunham, 13 Mr. Sir, go back down here. P14 we have Eric Marecki, 15 we have Jeremy Mercer, P16 we have Coadroma, 17 Travis Robinson, 18 we have Dan Cran, 19 Mr. Wells. 20 is Bailey Kish. 21, Landon Drebes. 22, Mr. Wilson. 23 is Mikhail Charles. 24, Timothy Flamger. 25, Peter O'Brien. 26, Danny Durantz. Danny Durantz. I think we need to get his livery sorted out. 27, Brandon Chan. 28, Joel Moffat. 23, Mr. Louis. 30, Archie. 31, Carpenter. 32, Jared Troxler. 33, Fosli Majid. 34, Ilpo Rutsalainen. 35 is Patrick Rust, but I have to note that earlier I was looking at the pronunciation sheet, and although it looks like it says Patrick Rust, he has said that it's actually pronounced dumpster fire. Not sure why. 36, Salazar, and 37 is Victor Diaz. Hop back up to our front runners here.
Yeah. And the reason why Victor Diaz is so far back, if you're just tuning in right now, he did pick up a qualifying ban. And if he does continue to pick up the penalty points, it will be a pit lane start. Very quickly, top 5 of the gold and silver championships to go through. It is Travis Nordstrom leading gold on 312 points, followed by Jeff Spangler on 281, Andrew Rados on 276, Omar S. Garcia with 250, and then Dan Cran with 236. 276 for Andrew Rados, my apologies. Then silver is Ilpo Lutzalainen with 187, Brandon Chan with 157, Kelvin Lau with 150, Michael Louis with 135, and then 126 for Landon Dlebet. So it's a very tight fight, both on the grid but also in the Gold Division Championship. And realistically, the entire field overall, it's Zolder, it's short, it's tricky, it's tight. It's hard to overtake as you look to the right-hand side, and the green flag drops. It's boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go racing here, and Zolder around the outside is already going to look for the move, going to get a little bit argy-bargy between them, though. It is Rados who's already going to begin to lose out as Rushovic is going to go for the move around the outside at turn number 2, as that is going to be Omar Escorcia in the background, who is going to be going around at turn number 2. Luckily enough, it didn't seem to cause too much of a car park. 3 wide heading out of turn number 2, possibly into turn number 3. Going to go down the inside of the lemon car is that Ferrari. Dan Cran seeming to, as ACC sorts out its leaderboard, but right now it is going to be Travis Nordstrom who loses out. Jeff Spangler takes the lead of the Zolder GP. The second chicane is going to be very tight, as a little bit of a punt there from the Lamborghini, it seems, almost sending him into the leaders at the front of the field, but luckily nothing too bad for the time being. The 666 seeming to have spun at the second chicane, or maybe due to an incident. Andrew Rados stays P number 4 for the time being, and that Lamborghini I was talking about was Feinbras, as Landon Dlebes is going to go down into turn number 9 through the right hander in his trusty Porsche, down in P number 20 for the time being. A little bit unlucky, he's got Baylor Kish right in front of him, but right now the leaders come around the final corner to bring an end to lap number 1. Right now though, Gomo Wilson in the Nissan going to be having a little bit of a fight. A Ferrari and a McLaren all over the place. Laz and Mercer will fly past around the outside of turn number 1 though. The Ferrari is going to keep it there. Got to keep on the throttle between these two drivers into turn number 2. A little bit of a squeeze against the Nissan. That will give the Ferrari the opportunity and the space to move up. It's Jeremy Mercer up into P number 9. Right now, a little bit further back, Peter O'Brien in his trusty Ferrari. Going to be losing out there, it seems, to the car right in front of him. That is going to be a Ford Mustang of Koa Jeromo. He's got a Honda behind him, he's got a Beamer behind him, and he's got a Porsche, all looking to hunt him down, heading down into the first chicane here at Zolder for lap number 2 of the, technically, the only Belgian GP on this calendar.
And it looks like Dan Cran and Kelvin Lau were the biggest losers on lap 1. They're both sitting in the pit. See what happens with them later. And looks like Landon is off. Let's take a look at what happened. So there.
Yeah, we just about caught it on the bottom. We just about caught it on the bottom of the screen. It was down into the second chicane. We'll allow you to take us through this, Stephanie.
Well, I'm trying to figure out what happens here. A little bit of bumpy through there, which probably cost him some time, and there's some contact going in. So,
yeah,
not much to say there. That was.
I'm not. I am not a steward, however, I'm going to give my verdict. I believe that was London Drivers at fault, as
Yeah.
he just turned in a little bit too early. The car was still there on the inside, and he just turned in, a little bit of contact. Nothing much he
Yeah.
could really do, apart from probably wait and bide his time. Right now, though, it is Michael Charles, who's going to be defending for the time being, as he has got a trusty Ferrari. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
I think we've got some.
What was that in the background? Was that
I'm-
ping in the background?
I think so, but I've also got somebody off. I'm trying to catch Wells. Just, it looked like a lot of
Yeah.
possible ping going
He
on.
just-
Maybe landed him somewhere where you didn't want to be.
Yeah, he just pinged off, like, we saw that in the back. Yeah,
Yeah.
oh, what?
Oh, that's
Yeah.
a shame. So that is the ACC version of technical difficulties. Our engine, well, I shouldn't say our engines don't blow up. You can blow them up.
What was that?
So Jeff Spangler got off the run and is out here in the front holding P1 over Travis Nordstrom, who wants it back. So we'll keep an eye on that. They've still got just under a second between the two of them. So I'm not sure if they're going to close that gap or not.
Well, even if they don't close that gap, one man who is closing the gap is going to be Jeremy Mercer. Currently chasing down Lad, who is just in front of him. Number 37 in the gold division, chasing down that 612 of silver. Ferrari versus McLaren, as
We have a
Summit has happened at turn
Brendan
number
Chanoff.
1. And that is, yeah, Summit sideways at turn number 1. I feel like I know where this is going, because it happens a lot at Zolder. But we'll wait and see, as he is going to get the run here at turn number 1, and I think we know where this is going, don't we, Stephanie?
We do, because I saw the Delta before this happened. Brandon trying to make a very, looks like possibly optimistic move there, which didn't work out so well, unfortunately.
That is the life of sim racing. And by the way, Stephanie, it's not a game issue with the game engine, it's a game feature.
Ah, I'm sorry. My bad. The feature. The game feature of technical difficulty.
If you don't get the joke, chat, you don't get the joke. We're being professional here, but we can also put a joke in there from time to time. Also, Eric Marecki and Colin Dunham, teammates, chasing down each other. Didn't we see this last time at Nürburgring as well?
I believe so. I know that actually Nürburgring was fun because there was a couple times where you had teammates kind of racing together, which was nice. Makes you feel more like a team, I guess.
Look, fair point, as we do continue going on. Travis Nordstrom 0.425 to the leader, so it looks like that gap is being maintained for this time being. That's one thing about Zolder as well, what makes it tricky with the chicanes. You can close in, but it may not work out properly, as Michael Charles going to be on the attack right now against a Ferrari through that first chicane. But it is going to be a little bit unlucky. Over the crest and down the hill through the left-hander you will go. You don't want to make a move up the second chicane. It is just unlucky, and I've seen way too many incidents in the past personally. Up the hill and through the right-hander, which can be a little bit tricky if you don't have the right setup. But all the drivers right now are going to get through nice and tidy. Over the crest, down the hill we will go, and that is going to be the Beamer of Guy Manperson down the inside, as I believe that is a lapped car. Or is it Timothy Flamger who is actually losing out right now? More than likely a lapped Ford Mustang, and that's just very unfortunate, not even 10 minutes into this race, if indeed they are lapped. As I'm guessing by the livery.
Omar, I think
by the livery. Yep, blue flags.
Yeah, I know, like in the chat, they're saying Omar's having a, oops, sorry. Very tough race. Some really bad luck for him. Unfortunately, it's always a shame to see.
Yeah, very true. As Diego right now seeming to be on a defensive strategy, on a attacking strategy. I thought Diego was in the McLaren for a second, and I have no idea why. It's Rusevich in the McLaren ahead with Diego behind through the second chicane, through the right hand of our Lamborghini. Personally, I drive it, so totally not biased. Very snappy on the front end, so that's going to have a good strength through these chicanes here at Zolder.
And a little bit further back, we've got Guy Manperson and Charles were fighting, but it looks like, well, I'm not sure what's happening here.
Oh, Charles!
I know, let's go back. Let's find
Oh,
Charles.
Charles.
What happened?
Oh, whoa. He's even, rear end slips out on the Honda.
Had a slip
And
there.
Over the crest.
Cannot
Trees
get.
in the way. Second chicane.
Oof. Oof, look at them go through. That was, well done. A little bit of bang there. So.
And gonna get collected. Yeah, gets collected. Sent off into the gravel. Tries to catch it. Comes back on the racing circuit. But rear end slips out.
Yeah.
And around they go, facing the other way. Instead of facing the North Pole, they are instead facing the South Pole.
This track is proving its difficulty on the racecraft side of things. Like Michael Louis is making a move on Wilson here. We'll see how this pans out or doesn't.
Will it pan out or will it not? It all depends really as we go under the Yokohama sponsorship. Hashtag not sponsored by Yokohama. Shout out to our sponsors. And going to be going over the crest and down the hill into the left-hander and then into the braking zone for the second chicane one more time. The Porsche seeming to be pretty stable around here as down the inside will go Jared Troxclair, and it looks like he got that move done nice and clean, or was that a little bit sketchy?
Let's look.
But it seems like he got it done as we are going to get a replay here.
Try to...
bye-bye.
Let's see how this
the
works out.
Nissan's just right there. Did he get it done before the chicane? He gets it done into the chicane, and that is legal. He is within track limits. It's not F1, it's GT. The curb is the limit. So even though it looks like he cut, that second chicane, you can cut quite a bit. So that was legal and that was fair play.
Yes, it was. As meanwhile, Guy Manperson looking to get that spot back from him. Meanwhile, back here, we've got Russ and Salazar battling.
Yeah, down the inside.
Apologize for bouncing around a lot here because there's just so much going on through the field. I'm trying to avoid missing anything that we don't have to.
Yeah, and real quickly, optimum track surface, no rain on the radar. It is 26 degrees ambient temperature. No time qualifying though, as it is only 32 degrees in the race. The tyres are still going to be screaming though, so those pit stops going to be a major opportunity. It looked like Beamer was going to go for a move down the inside, however, not going to go for it. The Lamborghini cuts momentarily, but perfectly legal, like I said on the lap beforehand, and it's going to be Fazla Majid looking to get past Salazar for the time being, as that is a red, green and white livery. That is a very nice looking livery, and round through turn number 9 into the left-right sweep of turn number 10. Nice and tidy here at Zolder.
It is, and it looks like people are starting to settle in. I do see some early pit stops going on here. Diego just pops into the pit now. Might be that this might be the case with our leaders right now. Barrero having the purple lap thus far, the 128.005. They may be just trying to settle in and hoping that they can undercut or overcut in the pit stop and get lucky there, as opposed to trying to fight each other out on track, because we really see how hard that's been for these guys.
Yeah, I mean, that's the key. Like I've said this so many times, but it's just true. The chicanes are the key feature here. Like, they bunch up the grid, but then they also just dilute any attacking momentum that may build up. This is a good overtaking spot though, turn number 9. However, not enough momentum on the side of Jeremy Mercer. So through turn number 10, the left-right sweep and then down into the braking zone as Lars is going to be Lads is going to be going down into the final chicane. But realistically, Mercer, Lars, Rushovic, and Rados practically on top of each other here. As I stand corrected, that is a lapped car, that is a lapped Aston Martin.
That is. And the thing with this track that is so hard is the importance of the exit of these chicanes and series of turns that you've got. You know, you really need to nail the exit in order to have any kind of a fighting chance of getting past the guy in front of you, unless of course he botches the exit and then it pretty much hands it over.
Yeah, as that is a moment, and that is
Travis Nordstrom. What happened?
What's happened? I think we know what has happened here. Was this just a mistake on his own as the pressure began to build? Heading down into the chicane, we saw the yellow flags, we saw him in the barrier. The Ford Mustang into the braking zone, goes on one curb, goes on the other, loses the undulation, and into the barrier. Little bit of a love tap, but that's P number 4 down to P number 10 within the space of a single sector.
Well, he was P2 at the start of the race. I didn't see him lose P3 to 3 or 4. I'm not sure. Wow. That's gotta be frustrating.
Yeah, that's gonna be very frustrating. However, this has now made this a lot more interesting. Estefano Barrera versus Andrew Rados, the 120 versus the reigning, defending, undisputed SRA Season 12 Division 1 champion. Yes, I did a Paul Heyman. And through the left, through the right, that Honda is bouncing all over the place. But look at the speed it gets and look how stable it can be.
It really is. Seems to be doing really well here. And yeah, it's surprising me with its ability to like plow over those.
Yeah, well, it all comes down to this realistically. Jeremy Mercer seeming to once again try and line up a move on Laz. Another unfortunate once again, as a little bit in the background, a little bit argy-bargy between quite a few other drivers, as the gaps do seem to be closing in throughout the field. Nice little battle seeming to unfold between Guyman Person, Joel Moffat, Austin Carpenter and Victor Diaz further back. That's a voice crack. Why is my voice going so high pitched tonight? Jeez.
Like we do have those. How many is that? 19 to P24 is 6 cars, all kind of bunched up together. Yeah, with about a half a second of each other there. So we'll keep a close eye on that. If I see anybody get much closer than a half a second on each other, we'll definitely take a pop down there. Right now, Mercer and Laz are the two closest. Nope, not the closest battle. Coadromo and Dunham here, and looks like some movement in the back. I believe that's just a blue flag being passed.
No flags. Yes. So it seems like it's going to stay where it is right now. Then they're going to say that it is going to be Coadromo looking for the move around the outside in Ford, just trying to get past. I do believe that car right there, not the one, not the black one, the white one just in front of it, is going to be a lap traffic. So a little bit unfortunate as we head around the rest of this circuit. So right quick with a beverage.
Yeah, you had Mercer there poking an eye around the back of Laz, just maybe trying to make him a little nervous. Oh wait, sorry. Oh, keep an eye on Mercer here, see what happens. Yeah, it's that time period a little bit before the pit stops start to mix things up, where most of these guys are pretty spread out. Not a lot of battles going on at the moment. Some people popping up pit. Yeah, I do believe Laz does deserve to be at Division 1. So he's holding his own really well here. So it looks like Mercer lost some time on one of the exits, and we'll let him have some chance to catch back up. Meanwhile, take a look at Coadromo back here. Looking for an opportunity on Dunham. Let's see. Yeah, it's quiet time. Who do we want to watch? Victor. Not sure if I lost Alexa or not. It's gotten really quiet. And it's still really quiet. I guess you poor suckers are stuck with me entertaining you for a little while. Sorry. A lot of people.
Don't apologize. Don't apologize. They deserve you.
I just said here rambling like.
If they cannot appreciate you for who you are, then it's that simple. Anyways, now the beverage is refilled, so we are back as I just said. Z are back. When my online name is literally Alexi. How the heck do I do this? I have no idea. As right now, Victor Diaz, I'm trying to stop the rambling like I got told to. Or did I? I have no idea.
I was rambling. Yeah, Diaz was close. I'm looking for somebody to watch here. There's really not a lot going on the track, and nobody's making any requests tonight for who to watch. Normally I have somebody going, let's see who X is doing. Let's see what that person is doing.
Yeah, well, we just have to see where the action comes as Gomer Wilson and Eric Marecki into the pit lane. Peter O'Brien also into the pit lane. Jeff Spangler right now, 4.143 second lead.
Yeah, I figured,
Jeff.
you know, while nothing's going on, we'll give the leader his screen time.
Yes, it is contractually obligated 1 minute of screen time.
Yes. Well,
and then we probably won't see him for the rest of the race. As Wilson, Marecki into the pit lane, everybody's in pits. We're approaching that pit window part, let's be honest, and
yeah,
it is interesting because the track is very, very hot. So how is that going to work out?
I'm not sure, because the actual air temp is not very, very hot. It's only 25. So I guess it's 4:30 in the afternoon in track time. So right now, as I'm freezing in the frigid Midwest, 25 Celsius sounds fantastic. Oh, I would love to feel 25C again.
Trust me, you don't want that in the UK. All houses are like ovens.
Yeah, you guys aren't built for that. Well, it's not a normal temperature over there either, in the least.
I know, it's usually like 10 degrees here. Please make Holton realistic.
So Travis Nordstrom here, looking to crawl his way back to the front of the pack. Is currently in P20.
Yeah, well, it seems like this is going to be the story to watch this race, because if he's able to recover back through, also to point out, he does now have the fastest lap of the race. So Travis Nordstrom on a recovery drive, we'll probably see him back in the top 10 due to pit stops. But where is he going to filter out towards the end of this race? Of course, he's spun out from what we believe was a podium position, if we were correct about it. But now he's down in P number 17 due to pit stops, and this crawl back up the field seems to be the one what is going on. When he did end up pitting, he was down in P number 10. So realistically, if he's going to pop out anywhere, it will be P number 10. But then of course, you've got your battles which may happen, and there may be more incidents when it comes to it overall. If you look on the track map, Sector 2 is barren right now. There's nobody in it.
No, so if anybody is going to be able to pit and come out in that gap, that would be probably fantastic for them. Jeremy Mercer here battling Rushevic. They both have opted to pit, and they were up in our top 5. Maybe they were fighting for, I want to say they were fighting for P3 or P4 originally. But,
I would say so. Well, we'll have to wait and see. As to be honest, these guys have been going at it this entire race and still not giving up. Like, they are battling each other, and they're not giving each other any breathing room. Constantly, Jerry Mercer has been on that rear end of the McLaren. Ferrari versus McLaren. Hopefully something we can see this year in Formula 1. But this is SRA, this is sim racing, as that was a very bad camera angle game. As that is going to be Andrew Rados, who will now come out the pit lane. P number 8 overall, he has come out perfectly in that gap and ahead of that big field.
He has. I was interested to see where he was going to come out, as he was, I believe, in P3 at some point, somewhere up there prior to popping in, unless I missed something. So, yes. So he picked a great time and opportunity to do that. We'll see how well that pays off for him. Meanwhile, Barrera is opting to pop into the pits also. So in a few seconds, I will attempt to remember to go check on him.
Yeah, well, one thing to point out as well, yet to pit is the leader of Jeff Spangler. Rados currently sat in P number 8, is going down into turn number 10. The leader of Jeff Spangler just going into that second chicane, which is classed as turn number 7. So only a few corners between them, but this also, Andrew has that massive clean air gap, whereas Jeff Spangler is having to carve his way through lap traffic, and you've got to wonder, how is that going to affect him when it comes to his pit stop, as there is an incident and there is a reset to the pit lane there momentarily. Couldn't catch the number quick enough, unfortunately, but that seemed to be at the first of the lanes. As right now, Estefano Barrera versus Rados.
Pops out right in front of Rados, both of them in that nice clean air. Rados is not gonna be real happy with that, I bet.
Well, here's the thing though. We're coming out the pit lane. Sure, the track's up, but the tyres are still going to have to heat up. And both the Honda and the Ford absolutely tanking the curbs this evening, minus Travis Nordstrom. But right now, the tyres which are going to be better are going to be on the car of Andrew Rados. So even though Estefano Barrera has just put out ahead of him, Andrew's going to be closing down lap by lap with those tyres, and he's already on the back of him as we head into turn number 9 and turn number 10.
Yeah, definitely. This is outside of the Mercer and Rushevic battle. This is the next one to be watching at the moment. Again, keeping an eye on Jeff Spangler up front there and seeing when he decides to pop into the pits. We don't want to lose this 1/10 between the two of them. Rados kind of takes a look, thinks otherwise. Maybe he's just trying to make sure he's got Barrera's attention, letting him know he's there.
Well, he did a little bit of a wiggle right there, but turn number 2 and turn number 3 are definitely your safest bets for an overtake opportunity. Maybe turn number 10, but the little squiggle can make it a little bit awkward. But the rear end slips out there momentarily for Estefano Barrera as the leader of Jeff Spangler now pulls into the pit lane. Where will he come out? Dromo, Troxclair, Victor Diaz, Salazar, yet to pit. The rest of the field already has. Currently sat P number 6 is Estefano Barrera with Andrew Rados P number 7 and Diego P number 9 and Diego P number 8 with Rushevic in P number 9 in P number 9. No idea why my brain is not braining. My brain is not processing. I apologize, chat, as we do go down into the braking zone and into the right-hander.
He's not moving.
It looked like we are going to go side by side there momentarily. We were talking about turn number 10 just before. We've just gone through it, and that is going to be a good opportunity for Jerry Mercer. He had the rear wheels alongside. He has the opportunity. He is entitled to the space. However, a little bit of a squeeze through the final chicane by Laz, and that is unfortunately not going to work out for him at this time being. But Jeff Spangler has made his pit stop, and he comes out P number 2 overall. Troxclair, Victor Diaz, and Salazar all into the pit lane. So Power Dromo currently lead 19 laps into this race, but of course he has to pit. So either way, net lead is going to go to Jeff Spangler unless he has a incident or a spin of some sort.
Say that. Although I have to say that Jeff Spangler seems to have armor.
Apologies, I'm going to throw in here. As already with a qualifying ban, so the start at the back of the grid, Victor Diaz with a stop-go 30.
Oh no, this is not Victor's race in the least.
Joel Moffat currently chasing down the Ford Mustang just in front of him of Austin Carpenter. As through the first chicane, a little bit of a bumpy ride with that. Honestly, I think that livery is Galaxy inspired, but those bumps definitely lost him time, as Trashcan is going to be right behind him as we are going to go through the right-hander again. Lots of right-handers here at Zolder. Like, us Europeans seem to like our right-handers on circuits. Clockwise circuits seem to be good most of the time. But right now, through turn number 10, it is going to be Carpenter versus Moffat versus Rust as we head down onto the next lap of the Zolder GP.
Yep, and we have somebody cheering Moffat on here as we're keeping an eye on these three, seeing how they do. Also, keeping an eye on what's going on up ahead. Mercer here hunting down Rushevic with a vengeance.
Lap after lap.
Lap after lap. I'm sitting here watching these deltas between these two, and I tell you, he is not giving Rushevic a moment of breathing room. He is on him like white on rice.
I don't get that reference.
Rice is white. It's old. I'm showing my age. Coadromo pops to the pits.
Also showing mine. If I don't understand what you're saying, it just shows how young I am. I don't like this.
Nordstrom has made it back up into actually now P8 from his
talk about recovery drive.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad he didn't throw in the towel at that. I've had races where I ended up on my roof and still managed to make it back to P11. So, it's doable. Yep. It can happen.
Hey, Peter O'Brien right there, gonna get the move done through turn number 3. Down towards the chicane, though, it is going to be the Nissan of Dan Cran, everybody's favourite admin, heading down into the first chicane. But that from Well, Nissan seeming to be a little bit too bumpy for Zolder's liking, and that's going to be very unfortunate for him. But Timothy Flamger is going to be through the second chicane, and he is currently chasing down Bailey Kish.
The second favorite admin?
Indeed. As it's interesting, really. We'll be honest here, we haven't really seen Bailey that much this season, have we? Like, we've seen him here and there, but
yeah.
Other than that, he hasn't really got a lot of screen time. Same with Dan.
No, he hasn't.
We haven't been given everybody's favourite admin screen time.
Well, Guy Manperson just pops right in front of Danny Durant.
Lovely little move, as the front of that car looks a little bit scratched up, as Joe Moffat is all over them, but there you go, we got a good old Lamborghini behind him, totally not biased, as it is going to be the pure blue car chasing down the black and pink car, chasing down the black and white car. So white a very popular colour, it seems, as white as rice, as we head through the right-hander and into turn number 3 there, and then down into turn number 3. There's a whole lot of gravel here, which is why European tracks are best, as we head through turn number 3, and then one more time to Coadromo, actually chasing down Peter O'Brien, through the left, through the right again, and then into the right-hander one more time. I got the left and right mixed up. I do apologise. And I am surprised I am surprised we have seen nobody go off at that right-hander after that second chicane. Brain, please process faster.
Yeah, only poor Ilko, who got a little tippy tap from another driver, and he had help going off, we'll say. By that, so you've got this little group bunching up here. Further up, you have Mr. Sir Travis Nordstrom on his recovery, following John Laz with Gomer Wilson in the back of that. And then meanwhile, up ahead, you've got Rusevich and Mercer still battling it out as they are closing some distance on Diego in P4. Jeff Spangler still in the lead with a 5-second gap.
Just Jeff Spangler doing Jeff Spangler things as we head through the chicane one more time. And honestly, the amount of times I've said this just shows how quick this circuit actually is. Like, like you would think a circuit with 3 chicanes would be a lot slower than it actually is. But this is why we love these type of circuits, as that is going to be Diego, who is past Rushevic and Mercer, and Laz also seeming to close in on this battle. But he's got to be careful because he's got Travis Nordstrom chasing up behind him. Nordstrom having that spin, very unfortunate, falling down to P number 20. Mega recovery drive so far to get up into P number 8. So it's Jeff Spangler leading, followed by Estefano Barrera, then Andrew Rados's lemon car, as it is going to be Diego versus Rushevic, I should say. As one more time through the right-hander, as we've got 23 minutes remaining on the clock. We are nearly two-thirds into. We are nearly in the final third. And what have your thoughts on this race been so far, Stephanie? As right now we are going to have Mercer trying to make a run on Anton, so we may get interrupted.
Well, I think that our P1, 2, 3 looks pretty well decided unless someone makes a big mistake up there. Jeff's got 5+ seconds over Barrera. He's got almost 2 seconds over Rados, who has 7 seconds over Diego. So I think unless someone makes a mistake, pretty set. It's this battle. You've got Mercer been relentless on Anton this entire race. Anton's got to be sweating. I hope he's got enough fans for himself over there. And Travis with this amazing recovery drive, who is now, Laz is kind of within a second of Mercer, and Travis is right on his tail back here, half a second behind him. Those are your big battles going on right now to watch out for. Wilson's back here chasing down Flamger. Yeah, a couple more in the back, but it seems like the back end settled out relatively well. What are your thoughts?
What I expected for Zolder. People crashing, the chicanes doing their thing. What I did not expect is the top three to be so far separate and ahead, as of course the main battle right now, 7.440 between Andrew Rados and Diego. So the Lemon Car seem to be on an absolute drive right now, trying to chase down Estefano Barrera, who is 1.911 ahead, and it's 4.836 to Jeff Spangler right now. Though one more time, Jerry Mercer is going to line up the shot, and he will send it down the inside. Finally, they are going to go one more time, wheel to wheel, side by side through the King. That's going to give a little bit extra speed to the McLaren and the Mackie. For the Mackie heading down into the final chicane, though it's going to be later on the brakes. They made contact. That's completely on his own. Jeremy Mercer goes off, goes across the circuit. He loses one plate, he loses two. Could he lose a third? Yes, he will. Down into P number 8, and I'm sorry to say this, Jeremy, that was completely of your own doing.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Was kind of wondering how that was going to play out. If he was going to get impatient and try to grab for it in that battle. That's a tough one. This is a tough track for that. It was exciting and fun to watch, but now Mercer's going to have to chase down Nordstrom as he's fallen to P8. Yeah. Here we have Coadromo chasing down Peter O'Brien. See what he can do here. Oh, that might pop up.
Well,
go ahead.
It was unfortunate there, as a little bit bumpy over the curbs, as this battle right now going to continue, as also going to have Jared Troxclair going to be going for the move on Dominic Durant, but the good old curbs saying no, you're not. So a little bit unfortunate there, as Mikhail Charles actually is down in P number 35, 14 laps down. So
in the pit,
if I'm correct here, we had 37 in the pits. So if I am correct on this, we had 37 people starting this race. So that's a retirement per pit lane. So that is 3 retirements in this race this evening.
I know Bosley has retired, but I'm gonna give him a little the wiggle room. He's been away the entire week, just got back less than 2 hours before this race and is sick. So don't think it was going to take much for him to want to just go back and get some rest that he really needs right now. So hoping he feels better.
Yes. Rest is very important, chat. And just a friendly reminder to take care of yourselves. I'm keeping up professionalism, but I'm going to be real with you, chat. Take care of yourselves, because life is important, and be careful what you do. Just take care of yourself, speak to your family, hang out, go for a walk, take in some fresh air. Which, honestly, fresh air is actually pretty good. And I say all this while I'm up at 3:24 in the morning.
Hey, but you're going to sleep till when?
Probably about 2 p.m.
Okay, there you go. Not the best time to be sleeping, but, you know, it is what it is. Look at the sacrifices Alexa makes for you guys. Be here, commentate. All for you.
British flags in chat. Put the British flags in chat. In chat? Damn, that's a new one. Anyway, back to professional mode after that little real life intermission. As going to be going for the move one more time. Joel Moffat looking for it. Patrick Rust, aka Trashcan, is going to be looking to get Austin Carpenter as well. These three have been here the entire time. They've been locked in this battle for about 10 minutes. At the start of this race, we were at 32-degree track temperature, 26 degrees ambient. We're now down to 25 degrees ambient, 30-degree track temperature. Still no wind on the forecast, but it is an optimum track surface, and no rain on the forecast. In-game time is 4:49 PM. In real life time, it would be 4:49 AM. Honestly, just a personal preference here. I think this would have been a good race to have a night. I think this would have been a good track to have a night race at.
Ooh, that would be. I think it would be really nice. It would definitely be interesting. Wet race would have probably been a nightmare, actually. It would have been fun to watch, but it would have been a nightmare for these guys.
I'll be real. I'll be real. I was so hoping it would be autumn. That would be a wet race.
Everybody is. I have to chuckle every single reveal stream for the tracks for the season. People are clamoring for a wet Wilton Park. We did have one. I remember now. We had one several seasons ago. It was fantastic, and I got a track cut for putting my car into a wall. Not sure how that happened. Like
well, one man who will not want it. Well, one man who will not want a track cut is Jerry Immersive, as it looked like he was going to line up a move there on Travis Nordstrom, but unlucky so far. As right now, Jeff Spangler is still leading, followed by Estefano Barrera and Andrew Rados. Diego Rusevich, Laz Nordstrom, Mercer, Sir, and Wilson rounds out the top 10. As now less than 15 minutes remaining, we have got 3 quarters done, or 1 more quarter to go. Get the footballs, go for the pitch plays. I don't know why I'm referencing college. I have no idea why I am referencing the NFL when I have absolutely no idea what the NFL is, but that is Bailey Kish with a drive-through penalty. Talk about a bad end to your race.
Well, and also talking about track warnings and cuts there. That is a problem here that you can run into very easily. Is grabbing a little bit too much of that track, getting a little greedy, and with a little.
Speaking of grabbing too much of the track, grabbing too much of the grass right there was Peter O'Brien. That's giving Coadromo the opportunity and just going to fly past. Is this last 15 minutes where our commentary curse is the commentary curse just not being here the entire race, and now in the final 15 minutes it's starting to kick in? Who knows? We'll have to wait and see.
I think it's been mild. Jumped to several battles where it was super duper close. I get there and they just get a bad exit. So it's been I've been able to tone it down this season, I guess. For you guys.
He's got the power. As right now, it is going to be Jerry Mercer on the attack one more time, trying to chase down Mr. Sir in that Lexus, as he is going to put it in a gap which realistically should not exist. That's going to be a little bit argy-bargy. I am so sorry if I'm waking up my neighbours, and we can continue going throughout the rest of this race. I'm going to take one of my earmuffs off just so I can make sure I'm not being too loud. And luckily enough, I can still hear Stephanie because I got another earmuff. As right now, I'm going to be continuing on down the main straight, and we're going to have one hell of a time as down into turn number 1, almost touching the rear end of that Lexus just in front of him. But Jerry Mercer has to be careful of one more thing, because he's got a Nissan of Gomo Wilson chasing him right behind.
Yes, he does, and I would apologize for the constantly using this helicam. Every time I go to any of the other angles, I just see trees. So I try to move it here once in a while, but I guess here is okay. But a lot of times it's just, oh, look, pretty trees. And that's not what you're here to watch.
Exactly. It's not like Spa. Screw it. I'm gonna do my Nordschleife plug, because I haven't done it this race. This is why they use the in-car camera on the Nordschleifer. That seems like an idea.
I got the hint. I did actually use the in-car camera a few times. Not sure what everyone's feelings are about.
This is why we love it. And this is one of the things. Like, personally, this is why I love the in-car camera, because you can actually see how deep the drivers are going from another driver's POV as we look over the windshield, which is a little bit dusty right now, of Jerry Mercer, but he will move to the right-hand side versus the 747. Didn't know that Boeing made race cars as we go down towards the first chicane. Going down into the first corner, heavy on the brakes was Mr. Sir. Mercer seeming to get caught out there, almost goes and spins it was Mr. Sir, but Jeremy Mercer he's absolutely caught off, thrown a curveball, and just majorly unlucky, and that Lexus in the straight line is just
ridiculous.
Wow.
It's ridiculous, I tell ya.
Utterly ridiculous. Utterly ridiculous.
All right, we'll use more cockpit camera for you guys, if you like it.
Yes. Whoa. Go to Robinson a minute. I think Gomer Wilson. She switched to Gomer Wilson.
I am on Gomer Wilson.
Yeah. Who the heck is that ahead of him then? Somebody's just sped past him. Oh, is that lap traffic? No flags. No flags.
It may have looked like it. I think when I popped back to him, he was real close to Mercer, and as soon as I went into the cockpit, the gap opened up real wide. He must have had a bad exit, so it was a optical illusion.
Oh, that's why I looked away from my screen, and I looked away from my screen when you were on Mercer. So when I looked back and you were on board with Wilson, my brain was just processing that we were still on board with Mercer.
Yep.
Even though it's two completely different windshields.
And like, interestingly, so here you've got Sir and Mercer and then Gomer behind this. So every time Mercer and Mr. Sir get really close and they start fighting and it doesn't quite work out for them, then Wilson gets up on Mercer, which just kind of like really highlights how much time you lose in a battle when you're fighting with somebody. And then Gomer tries to make a move on Mercer, and that doesn't work out quite as well as he hopes. And wow, look at that Lexus bounce.
Boing boing.
Yes, that was pretty amazing. This
is why we love sim racing.
Yeah.
Right
there
now.
is
right.
this one, but you can't see. So that's one that we get.
Yeah, you can't
this
see
is
nada. That one's alright, but that's more of a qualifying one.
Yeah. So not quite so nice. Now, let's see.
This one is perfect.
Yeah.
I am hashtag guilty of using this loads. So, yeah. I am majorly guilty of doing this, but it's just such a good camera. You get a perfect view of the track. You get a perfect view of what the car in front of you is doing, and then you also get the leaderboard on the left-hand side, which is way better on PC than console. As right now, Jerry Mercer is still going to be continuing to chase it down. He's currently at P number 9 versus Mr. Sir. He's got to be careful of Gomer Wilson just behind him. It's a shame on this camera that we don't get the rear view camera, but it's just one of the unfortunate things that we have to miss out on as we get to the 8-minute mark remaining here in this race. Hopefully I'm not peeking as what is happening.
I do. There you go.
Hey, we do have it, chat. We're looking over the rear wing. Damn, I just realized that this camera really shows how bouncy these cars are, because you can see, like, because the rear wing gets straight parallel to the track, so when the car bounces, you can see the angle that they're getting up to.
Yep. Pretty crazy. And there is John Laz lost a place to Travis as we were screwing around with our camera angles. I'm sorry.
No!
I'm sorry.
We're sorry. Chat, we're being professional the entire time. Chat, we're being in professional mode the entire time. We'll go back to professional mode in the final 5 minutes. Just let us have our little relaxed moment. We're saving the energy for the final 5.
I think they're enjoying this. There's really not otherwise. As I was saying that there wasn't much going on track, I was like, wait, Travis got past John Haas. Whoops. But really the Mercer and Sir, and then in the back we've got Michael Louis following Wilson. Call him Mr. Wilson.
With that, even though I cannot hear it, that lovely sounding Porsche engine.
Yeah, she's so nice. Although I'm gonna pop
It's
back
so
up
nice.
to Jeremy because he's
Oh, yeah.
till that happened. But
Fancy.
yes, fantastic recovery from Travis. That was amazing. So now Gomer is right behind Jeremy, but not as proficient maybe through that chicane as Jeremy was. He lost several tenths by the time they came out of there.
Yeah, well, it really depends. Jeff Spangler just coming onto lap number 37. As right now, one more time, going to be going through the little sling bit, as I like to call it, and that is Peter O'Brien, who has gone wide. Let's get a replay on that and see what has happened to him. I believe this may have just been a mistake on his own, because you can see the gap, nothing there, just, yep, goes over the curb, loses the rear end momentarily. The elevation, then again, does he get collected by one of these cars into the chicane? It may be from the Ford, but looks like he just loses it on his own. Yep. A little bit of a touch, and
Just
off you go.
in the
This
grass.
is why we hate soft curbs.
Yeah. Not supposed to touch the grass in sim racing. Wrong. Well, can't say game. I can't
It's the
call it a
wrong
game.
surface. As one thing to point out, Rados is closing down on Barrera.
He is. Still 8 tenths away though, so let's keep an eye on it.
Yeah.
Oh, 9. He's got
Yeah. Let's
4
keep
minutes
an eye on
left.
it because. Well, yeah, 4 minutes. So we're going to keep an eye on that delta on the left, as right now Eric Marecki going to be looking for the move on Travis Robinson, as a little bit unlucky there momentarily, and it looks like he's going to be staying where he is for the time being.
Yep. See, this is the only commentator's curse I think we're really seeing in D1. Is, you know, they're really close, and then I go to look at them, and then they make some small error, and it's like, okay, fine, let's go find something else.
London, oh, hey up,
Guy.
RIP London Drabez with a drive-through.
That is the second drive-through.
It's the second drive-through of this race. There was a stop and go earlier, but that was not
Yep.
a drive-through. This
That's
is
not a
the second drive-through of this race. We may want to continue watching the gap at the top, by the way.
I'm watching.
It was
it's
down to 0.6.
5. Yeah, a half-second gap. I have my cursor on it. We'll see.
Hey. Stephanie with the cameras down the inside at turn number 1. Guy Manperson is going to go for it. 114 versus the 599. Jesus
Can he do
Christ on a motorbike?
Can he do it?
Nope.
No. He's trying really hard.
Unfortunately-
He's not losing too much.
Unfortunately not. As right now, through the right-hander, try not to get too much into the gravel, which I am #guilty. As we go continuing into the second chicane, and it looks like it's going to stay where it is for the time being, as 3 minutes remain on the clock.
We're gonna hop up to this battle for P2 that's brewing as Rados is going on just what do you call it?
A tear.
Yeah.
I think it varies from where you're from, but over here in Britain,
Oof.
if you're on a charge, we call it a tear. You're on an absolute tear right now.
Well, he is on a tear. You know, he was just coming under a second behind a few laps ago, 2 minutes ago. Now he's closed it up to 2 tenths to Estefano Barrera, looking to take that P2 spot away from him.
Yeah, one thing I also want to point out, I haven't really
Wow, the
talked about it
bounce.
that much. It's one thing I haven't really talked about this season, which kind of bad, is fuel amounts. Because for all we know, Andrew Rados could have put a little bit more fuel in than he needed. So he may be running in a different engine mode right now, which could be giving him that extra speed.
Could be, although I'm not sure if it tends to play a lot of with these sprint races. I don't know that it plays a big role in strategy. Trying to conserve fuel. It's not like an endurance where you might be trying to keep the car out longer or just do a drive-through pit stop to save some time on your opponents. Most of these cars, from my understanding, won't benefit much from any kind of fuel savings mode over a 60-minute race anyway.
Oh no, I'm not saying that he's saved fuel, I'm just saying that he may have put a little bit too much extra in.
Maybe, and now he's got a little bit less in than he had. But better too much than too little.
Yeah, hold up, I'm trying to figure this out here. Are we on the final lap or not? Because we've got 47 seconds remaining, and Jeff Spangler is only going through that second chicane.
Good question. I did not hear it, nor was I listening for it. So the game sounds are really soft for me tonight. I should have turned them up.
Yeah, well, we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see for the white flag, as he does have a gap to slow down. As 18 seconds left on the clock, this looks like it's going to be tight. As I do believe he will get it. I do believe we'll have one more. Yeah, we're going to have one more lap here at Zolder, unless he slows down at the line, which he's not going to. So we will go on to the final lap of the Zolder GP. It's going to be one more shot for Andrew Rados. Jeff Spangler leads up ahead. Andrew Rados currently chasing down Estefano Barrera. These two have been at a similar gap the entire race, but now it closed in these final few laps. One more shot, one more lap. It all comes down to this. All the pressure piled on to one singular point, and that is going to be the steering wheel of the Honda and the Ford. Which one will prevail? Which one may buckle under the pressure? The yellow is going to be a warning for the Ford Mustang in front. I'm here, I'm coming, and it comes down to this. Bouncy over the curbs. That's going to be a major loss for Stefano Barrera, but he seems to catch it. Andrew Rados is going, no idea why the accent changed, is going to get away with it as well. Both seeming to lose exactly the same amount of time there. Up the hill and over the crest. The Ford Mustang seeming to be a bit more of a tank, but Andrew Rados will go off track, and he will go and throw it, it seems. He will stay on the podium, but it's going to be unlucky. One man who will not be unlucky is this man. He went from pole. He's got fastest lap. 41 laps later, in the Belgium countryside, Jeff Spangler wins the Zolder GP. Estefano Barrera is going to come home P number 2. Andrew Rados unfortunately comes home P number 3. He could have done more, but a podium after a race win last week is not one to slouch. To take home P number 4 is going to be Diego in the number 95. Hashtag Kachow. In the Lamborghini goes P number 4, and then Rushovic is going to go P number 5 to take the silver win here at Zolder.
You know, I wish I knew that this camera was going to be that nice for the finish line. They usually aren't. Woo! That was a different color for a hot second.
Oh, that is how that is how we do it.
As Garcia comes on the line.
What then? As they these guys are actually going to still be right there. Kelvin Lau on the back of Moffat, but a little bit unlucky. and that's going to be Moffat ahead of Lau. Then the rest of the drivers come to the line. I've already got results. Let's get ready for the interview, shall we? As
We
Stephanie,
shall.
what a race that was.
That was, yeah, the shortest lull I think that we've had in a race for the season. And a lot of exciting moments there.
Most definitely. Like, it's not one to slouch at all. And Zolder, even though it's tight and tricky, it really does provide some of the best racing action when it comes down to it. And I'll be honest, I was fully expecting something to happen at the end of that race between Barrera and Rados, especially when they both went onto that sausage curb at the first chicane.
Well, I mean, something did happen, unfortunately, for Rados. Wasn't what he wanted. All right, move this around. Who are we looking for first? I know. I even took a note.
Who are we looking? I know. I also have a note of it. We are looking for Andrew Rados.
Sir, is not available yet.
Is not available. Oh, there he is.
Yay.
He's not even going to have a chance to speak in the D1 chat. Hello, Andrew Rados. How are you doing this evening, good sir? Very well earned P number 3 there. Unfortunately, missing out on P number 2. Very bouncy tonight and very tight. Talk us through your race.
My hands hurt. That was tough.
Bet. So,
Yeah, sorry. Sorry, I need to catch my breath. Yeah, the Honda is not the best there.
No. Well, you did really well with it. I mean, you were really on a rampage there at the end.
Yeah, I knew what's his name, Barrera. I knew he's in the Ford, and the Ford just chews tires, you know. And I thought I could maybe get him in the end, and if I had a couple more laps, I might have been able to do it. But yeah, no, it wasn't the case.
No, there's that unfortunate touch of grass at the last lap there for you.
Yeah, I lost all my downforce in the dirty air and had no grip, so just Honda things, you know, mowing some grass, and yeah, you know, she goes.
Well, they make good lawnmowers, don't they?
They're the best. Yeah, VTEC.
Yeah.
Who doesn't love a good lawnmower? But of course, a win and a podium back to back. How are you feeling going into the 2-week break?
Great, because I like Bathurst, which will be in a couple weeks, I think. So yeah, no, I'm very happy with where I'm sitting. So I might miss one race this season, but I'll use that as my drop round, and yeah.
Nice. Good. That's wonderful. Won't hold you up here for too long. I know you're still trying to recover from that rather intense finish that you just endured.
Yeah, I need to go eat. Sorry, go ahead.
Just before you go, who would you like to shout out? Sorry, Stephanie, I'm stealing your thing.
Shout out to the New World Sim Racing boys again for watching my stream and supporting me. Yeah.
They keep us entertained too.
Thank you very much.
Were they in the chat again? my fans?
Yeah, I see a few of them in here, I believe. They're not as vocal as last week when you were winning, but they're here.
yeah, that's great.
Well, we shall let you go and recover, sir, because you do sound very out of breath. Go rest up, and very much congratulations on your P number 3.
Thank you. I will eat a bag of Cheetos as my recovery. Thank you, guys.
Ooh, yummy. Enjoy.
Have a good one.
All right. Now,
and we are now looking for Estefano Barrera. I do not see a Barrera.
I don't see a Barrera.
I do see an Anton.
I will grab Anton. If you don't mind taking over the interview for Anton, I will see what I can do about digging up a Barrera.
Very much.
He's all yours.
Welcome Thank you. Welcome in, Anton. Very well done on that win for the silver category. How are you feeling after that race, sir?
I am extremely sweaty. I need a very nice shower after that one, but that was just that quality lap, man. I was so happy with that because I was not being able to get into the low 27s, mid 27s in the practice session before, and then I just pull out that lap. It all came together in the end.
Fair enough. I'm going to be honest, I'm not going to try to pronounce your surname. So, Anton, talk us through that race for you, because, like, you just mentioned qualifying, but P number 5, not only the silver win, but P number 5 overall, Travis Nordstrom not far behind you on his recovery drive. So, what was it like towards the end of that race where you most likely knew that Nordstrom was going to be coming up on you?
Luckily, I know Travis is a very clean racer. I went side by side with him in the Suzuka practice race a few months ago, and that was good fun. So I was never worried about, both of us ending our races. For me, at the last 20 minutes, it was just about managing the tires and making sure I wasn't getting any track cuts, because I was on 3 for the last 20 minutes. And that was extremely difficult to not try to push as much as I could, maybe even catch Diego for P4. But my race was just making sure I secured the P5, not getting any more track cuts, and get the drive through. And it all worked out in the end.
Fair enough. And just going to look at the standings for silver, unfortunately, I do not see you on the top 5. So, but that is going to give you a good launch in the standings, to be fair. So, are you aiming to try and get into the top 5 for the silver, possibly in the top 3?
It's going to be tough considering I was moved 3 weeks in, and I only did my first D1 race last week, and that was not the greatest of races from my end. So with the remaining 3 races that we have left, I'll try my best. I'm not sure if top 5 or top 3 is attainable, but we'll give it our Boy Scout best.
Fair enough. As somebody who did scouts, it's been ages since I've heard that, so that's actually thank you. It's ages since I heard that. And one more thing, because I think Stephanie is still looking for the next person. Is there anybody you would like to shout out before we let you go?
I mean, I'd like to shout out, I think, myself, because for me, it was very difficult to come back after last week. It was kind of tough just coming off of it, and morale was at an all-time low. I started putting the work in pretty early, and, I took some time for myself, recovered, and hopefully back to performing at my tip-top. And I also want to give one more shout-out to my girlfriend, whose birthday is tomorrow, so happy birthday. I hope it's going to be a good day tomorrow. Should be. Well, we're expecting some snow in Florida, so we're probably going to be staying indoors for the majority of it, but we'll have fun.
Thank you very much. Happy birthday for tomorrow. And Stephanie, do you want to say anything real quick?
I was just going to give him my congratulations. I don't think that we're going to be able to dig up Estefano, unfortunately, getting radio silence from him. So,
thank you.
But
so
happy
much.
birthday to the girlfriend, and congratulations on your P1 silver. Am I right?
Thank you so much.
Of
She's
course.
listening, so she'll appreciate that for sure.
Okay, good. Yeah, I do see her pop in and cheer you on, and in these races, it's always nice to have a fan.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, we shall let you go back to your briefing, so have a good one.
Thank you. You too.
Okay.
And
Jeff
finally,
came up on his
welcome
own.
in Jeff Spangler.
Hello?
No, I moved
I
him.
love it.
I
Oh,
moved
you
him.
moved him. Okay, I thought he was like, I'm coming.
No, I
I'm
moved
here.
him.
I can
Jeff
hear you.
Spangler. Hello. Stephanie, I shall let you take this one.
Oh, again. Congratulations, Jeff. We haven't seen you here in a while.
Yeah. I like to keep it short between visits this season. So hopefully that continues.
Yeah, that's wow. I mean, you just kind of like you took it from the start and just ran.
Yeah. A great race start. McLaren's pretty good at starts, and I thought if I could, get a good jump and be close enough that I could maybe swing it around the outside. Because I did that in the practice race last night after the unfortunate restart, which we won't talk about.
Oh.
And yeah, it's like if you're on the inside there and you gotta kind of tiptoe your way over the curbing, there's not as much grip. So yeah, it kind of worked out. He kind of went a little wide and nothing really bad happened, and I was able to get it through the next corner and then start running away from there. I figured if I could make up enough time in Sector 1 and Sector 3, the Mustang hovercrafting over the first chicane, and he was really fast with the second chicane too. At least I could tell when we were close.
Wow.
That I'd be able to keep some distance. And yeah, I think he had an unfortunate first chicane at some point, and then from there I was just kind of head down trying to make sure I was managing my gaps. Managing traffic effectively. Shout out to Dan and Bailey, who had to pit early but were very nice and got out of the way. I'm sure maybe somewhat to their detriment, but thanks guys for doing that.
Awesome. Well, yeah, I mean, your start was, a little bit eventful there. It's just as far as that having to get it just right. I mean, that to me is pretty amazing. It could have gone wrong, and you kept it there and took it.
Yeah, amazing start, and hats off to Travis for fair racing. Absolutely.
Yeah, and yeah, he did have an unfortunate first chicane. It really did a great recovery, so we'll give him a special kudos for that recovery. Came back to what, P7, or I want to say. I'm not sure if Alexa remembers.
Yeah, last time I looked, I think he was in P7. He was close behind two other guys, so.
Yeah, so awesome recovery from him, but another awesome race for you. And I guess this puts you up in a comfortable P1 for the gold championship, doesn't it?
So I checked the website. So the website hasn't been updated, but ACCSM1 has, and it looks like I have a three-point lead after this one over Travis, and Rados isn't too far behind. I'm at 392, Travis is 389, and Rados is 368. So lots to play for over the last couple races.
Ooh, that's exciting. So
yes, very exciting.
Going into Bathurst, nonetheless.
Yeah, I was about to say that. We got a break coming up, but how are you feeling going into Bathurst, Jeff?
I'm feeling good. I have good pace there. I've done decent amount of racing there in the McLaren, so I feel good about setup and whatnot. There's not going to be any, it's not at night, it's not in the rain, so it should be pretty straightforward. But I know the Mustang we all know it has incredible top end speed, so that'll be interesting, certainly. I think the Nissan, I don't know if the Nissan's good there. I know Nissan's really fast in a straight line, but that'll be interesting as well. So yeah, just gotta put in a good quali and make the best of it. So definitely looking forward to that track. I know it's a fan favorite, and it's certainly one of my favorites.
Well, it certainly makes for some interesting viewing for those of us who are not racing. So, yep, we'll look forward to that and seeing how you do there. Good, congratulations tonight. Good luck in 2 weeks. And if you are joining them for the meetup next week, I hope you have a wonderful time.
I wish I was.
Oh, sorry.
I wanted to, but I have a work trip. It's for an event that's over the next weekend, unfortunately, so couldn't make it. But also fortunate because I would have been gone for next Tuesday, so I'm glad we're getting next week off.
Nice. Good. Anywhere fun for the work trip?
Yes. Well, I live in Indianapolis, and it's very, very, very cold here. The snow's pretty much gone, but I'm going up to Traverse City, Michigan. And it's going to be cold and snowing there, so...
Yeah. Yeah, no, we're not all that far from you, and it has been wicked cold here. So.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Well, stay warm.
Fine.
I'll do my best.
Stay warm, and And finally, Jeff, before you go, anybody you would like to shout out?
Shout out to Kelvin. We were already looking at his unfortunate race start and then first chicane. Trouble seems to be following him a little bit, but you know, we're all there, Team Madhouse, to cheer him on no matter what. And an apology to Landon because I caught him on the last lap and I didn't want to, and he pulled over and I might have cost him a battle with Ilpo. So I'm sorry for that, Landon. But anyways, hey, thanks guys. Thanks for broadcasting, and enjoy your weekend. Enjoy the week off, and yeah, looking forward to Bathurst.
Thanks. Take care.
All right, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Take care.
All right.
The OBS stream, please.
Oh yeah. Missed that part, but here you go. We're gonna go look.
Here we go.
The next one.
Yeah, because ladies and gentlemen, the racing action is not done yet. Of course, we're done with round 5 for Zolder right here in Division 1, but you still got your Zolder action coming your way. And of course, you can already watch the VOD right here on Twitch. I'm going to take this a bit slower this week so I don't mess up. You can watch the VOD once again once the stream ends right here on Twitch, or you can go and watch the Division 5, I believe. I don't know if there was a Division 3 stream, unfortunately, but you can definitely watch the Division 5 action over on YouTube. That's Sim Racing Alliance on YouTube. That was hosted by Robert Lacey, Matt Anderson, and Henry Ramirez. And then tomorrow night, right back here at twitch.tv/sim_racing_alliance, you have Division 2 for Zolder. It is hosted by Arjun, joined by Ilpo and Selena Boonstra. You've got Division 4 and Division 6 over on YouTube. Division 4 by BD and Rob Warren, with Division 6 being Cube Master and Marlon. We have a break coming up before we go for the rest of the season due to the meetup for SRA. But once we are back, we will continue for round number 6 at the Mount Panorama, aka Bathurst, then round number 7 will take us to Alton Park, and then the season finale will be Valencia. We've got a mountain, we got my home circuit, and we've got one of the best tracks for a season finale. It's going to be a good second half of the season. We'll see you after the break. I've been Alexa Marshall with Stephanie Fisher. Good night.